Raised on sandwiches and neglect. My small-town survival story. I have a story to tell you guys. At first, my life might sound like your typical American woman's life. I am currently having trouble finding work. I've moved 3 times this year, been lied to and manipulated by someone I've known for so long. And I'm almost 30 with no phone bill, house, car, or bank account with my name on it. I know, it's crazy. I promise though, you'll find out why. Let's start off with my childhood. Typical bullying constantly, bad grades, and sisters who constantly don't act like it. My name is Johanna, and I am about to turn 29 years old. I have 5 sisters and 1 semi-adopted brother. He only comes around when he needs something. I have 3 sisters from my mom and 2 sisters on my dad's side. He's another story. Growing up, it was just me, 2 sisters, and my mom, and the occasional guy who just happens to have things she needed/wanted. Most of the time, it was just me and my 2 sisters. My oldest sister, Paris, was living with my grandparents. I guess my mom decided she couldn't properly take care of her seems how she has diabetes. I can never remember which diabetes Paris had. All I know is she's been type 1 and type 2 diabetic for as long as I can remember. Honestly, I'm kind of proud of my mom to realize she couldn't properly take care of her and allowed my grandparents to. Next is Sabrina. She's the second oldest sister that I have. Growing up, she wasn't that bad. She always protected me from my other sister. She would have aggressive outbursts towards me. I remember one time my third oldest sister was charging at me, and Sabrina stepped in and stopped her from harming me. It was on our walk home from school. I don't remember what happened, but she was mad. As we got older, Sabrina is the one I loathe the most. She is so terribly aggressive, rude, bad-mannered, and she uses and mentally/emotionally abuses people around her. I never understood why she became like that. Finally, we have Mary, my third oldest sister. She was born with many mental disabilities and born into a family who couldn't handle it, how it needed to be handled. Violent outburst, smoking at a young age, and couldn't control any emotion. She had ADHD, ADD, borderline schizophrenic, amongst other things. Luckily, she was about to outgrow the horrible environment that we had to endure as kids and learned how to control every emotion she has. Still to this day, I am proud of her for that. However, when it comes to men, she sucks at picking them. Now, with all that being said, we also lived in a small town. Half the town population we were related to. Our name was very well known, which in some cases could have been a blessing. Sadly, it was a curse. In elementary, it wasn't so bad, right? I mean, we're just kids, we just got to school. We're like 5 to 7-year-old. What do we have to worry about? If we were in a different town, probably nothing. But for some reason, the school we were forced to endure as kids was absolutely horrid. I remember the time when I was 6 years old playing with my popular friends. I also remember a time when I was 6 years old and lost my popular friends because I wanted to play with a boy who was playing with himself. That's when it all started. 6 years old. Granted, before that my life wasn't that great either. Hell, my dad had already walked out of my life by then. Still to this day would rather not be my dad. You know, sometimes I wonder if my life may have gone okay if he was here. Then I decide it wouldn't. Everything that has happened in my life, the good, bad, terrible, has made me into an amazing, honest, loyal, family-oriented, Christmas-loving, chooses to help if able, caring person, and I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. I am better off without him, and I am so lucky to have a mom to allow me to make my own opinions of him based off his behavior. The best thing anyone has ever given me, and I don't think I've ever told her. Growing up, my mom was my best friend. She was my dad and my mom. As an adult looking back, honestly, I'm not sure why. She was always in her room on games and in bed. She barely ever left the room. I remember one time we left state to go visit a friend of hers. She rented us out a 1-bedroom cabin for 3 girls. No, it wasn't a spacious, luxurious cabin. It was a box with a roof and a corner walled off with a toilet. It was so small it only had a twin mattress, and it barely left space to walk to the bathroom. If I remember correctly, the cabin also came with a mini refrigerator that went behind the front door, made it so the door wouldn't open all the way. We would stay in there for hours, sometimes days. Eventually, we moved to the state, and we got ourselves a little trailer. Now, the trailer was spacious and cozy. But Mom's behavior didn't change. She would leave for hours. We would only have sandwich foods. I remember some of the best memories I had in that trailer was making sandwiches in our little grilled cheese sandwich griddle. I also even got a scar from that trailer. I was a little too close to a metal bed frame that was against the wall. It slipped and cut the front of my ankle. I was bleeding for a long time. I don't even remember if I told anyone. I'm pretty sure I felt too dumb in that moment to say anything, which could have ended badly.